I don't understand.
What is that?
You not the show yet?
It's in the case, dude. It's not supposed to get dirty.
Gross.
Yeah, it sounds disgusting.
Your face.
It sounds beautiful.
In HD.
Sounds disgusting. HD is not meant for everybody, dude. There's some people that. No, there's some people that can
Whoa.
be in HD.
This music is cool. What is it? Tekken?
Yeah.
Tekken, what the heck?
Julia. Tekken 3.
Wait, is it the arcade version or the
Arcade.
Oh no, this is the this is the arcade.
Isn't it?
No, the arcade
Oh,
version.
arranged. Yeah, it's the console. You're right.
The arcade version one sounds stupid.
I don't know.
Arcade like dong 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 dong.
Oh
dong.
yeah, I
I
remember.
love that song, dude.
I liked it, but the thing is that because if I always played on arcade music at home, and so that was the sound for all the time release characters. So you had to hear that no matter which time release character you fought.
Because it was a good song, dude. You can use it for so many. Awesome. I think that's my training stage music.
Whatever.
I like it. I like the slow down thing, slow mo thing. What's up, internet? It's Thursday. You guys are watching ATP Live. That was Julia's arranged soundtrack OST from Tekken 3, and I gotta say that soundtrack is really good, especially compared to Tag 2's soundtrack. Oh my gosh!
You don't like Tag 2 soundtrack?
Do you?
I think it's okay.
I
mean,
was
I don't
under
listen
the
to it 'cause
impression
it's
that
Tekken 2.
nobody likes it.
I think it's okay, but I like. There's other soundtracks I like better, but
I like the tuna stage.
I
Yeah,
think Tekken 4. I
I mean,
think
that's
Tekken
right.
4. Personally, Tekken 4 I like the least.
The least?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I don't remember any. I like Tekken 4. Most of them don't stand out to me except for Arena.
Yeah, Arena's hella historic.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
And
know.
the-
I
and-
thought Tag 2's was kind of bland a little bit.
No, Tekken 4 was the bland one, just because like none of the out of all like the stage, like none of them had a catchy melody, especially like the jungle one. I don't know, like
What did that
it
one sound?
It started like wah, 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 wah,
That was tight, dude.
That sounded pretty good, dude.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Isn't that a didgeridoo or something? I think that instrument that you made with your mouth is called a didgeridoo.
Huh.
It's an Australian instrument.
knifey
What
spoony.
is it?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. I know all about that shit. Anyway, it's Thursday, as I mentioned, and there's a couple things to talk about, though it has been a relatively slow week. The big news is, of course, the low-tier god Viscant debacle that happened yesterday at Super Arcade, which I'm sure we'll get to in a little bit, but let's talk a little bit about the Tekken 7 stuff. Last week, we talked a little bit about the gameplay changes and stuff like that with Bronson, but there was something that I forgot to mention that MYK brought to my attention that I think is extremely important for the actual specific gameplay of the game. And that is, there has been a change made to trading hits in Tekken 7. So in Tekken Tag 2, as well as every Tekken there has been, if you trade two hits together, like let's say Steve's back one with a standard jab, the trade will not retain the counter hit properties of the moves that traded. So Steve's back one, if it counter hits, it's going to give you a stun. But if it trades hits, it does not retain that stun. That's how it's been until now. However, MYK brought to my attention that in Tekken 7, if two hits trade, they trade with the properties of a counter hit, which may not seem like a big deal, but this type of a thing can really make a character like Steve a shitload better, because all of his important moves are counter hit. They have counter hit effects. So this is an interesting decision that they made, and it's a system-wide decision that at this point, I haven't really thought of all the possibilities, but there are definitely some changes that are going to happen to characters where they're going to want to abuse this type of a move because they know even if they get a trade, or even what about in a situation where, let's say it's a frame trap, right? And the frame trap is only going to give you opportunity, like if you do this move, it will 100% trade with a jab. Like Jin's down back 4 into his standing 4. So I think down back 4 on hit, if you hit with it and then do his standing 4 and the opponent does a jab, you're going to trade hits. That's like a setup, right? Well, those types of situations are going to become way more common in Tekken 7 if this is the case. You're going to do a move that leaves you in a situation where if the opponent does a jab or a down 1 or something, you're going to be able to do your move that will trade with it, giving you the combo. So what do you guys think about this decision that was made? I didn't even personally notice it until MYK brought it to my attention. What do you guys think? How will this affect the game? What do you think, Ricky?
Makes frame traps a lot better because when you have anything that will trade with a jab, and anything that you do that trades with a jab, but obviously your counter hits is as a combo starter, trading with the jab is nothing. So that makes that frame trap way stronger than it was before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. I think that's all it really does, in my opinion. It just makes frame traps and things like that more deadly, especially against certain characters. Like, well, theoretically, if Ganu's in Tekken 7, it makes his headbutt and like frame trap extremely good.
Yeah,
because
or
now,
think about Marduk. Marduk's jumping knee or any move that needs a counter hit to do the juicy, whatever it is. Steve's back one. There are a lot in Tekken. I mean, if you think about all the possibilities, it really, to me, is a game changer. I can't believe I didn't notice it, but it definitely seems like it could be something big. One example that he brought up was two Oscar players were playing in a mirror match, and they both traded hits with Magic Fours, and they both got knocked down. So, it's like the properties are retained. You get the knockdown off of the Magic Four, even if it trades, which could be huge, I think. What are your thoughts, Rit?
I don't know. Confusing. Now I'm like so confused about how the hell counter hits worked before. Does that mean counter hits only worked on when I attacked before while you're still in your startup? Before you became active?
Basically, it only works if it's during the startup of an attacking move. So it can't be something that's like an action or like a flamingo step or not just an action. It has to be like an attacking move that will connect at some point in the move.
But specifically during the startup.
Yeah, because like I think maybe in past Tekkens, like if as soon as the attack comes, like a 10-frame jab, right? On the 11th frame, it's a whiff now. So like there's no counter hit up until, well, I guess the 9th frame, because the 10th frame is the hit. But now the 10th frame counts as an active, counter hit properties.
It's very weird. It's hard to kind of pinpoint exactly how they did it, but at this point, it looks like he's right. Ricky's right. On the 9th frame, it's still counter hittable.
Right.
But on the 10th frame, currently, it's not. And that's a change that they made. Now, even if it connects with a move on the 10th frame, it will get a counter hit.
But then does that mean on the 11th frame of a jab, like the thing about Tekken and frame data is that we've never kept track of active frames, right? So like if a move comes out,
well, we keep track of active frames. I mean, it's available in frame data pretty frequently. Like it'll say this move is impact 15 to 18. So it's active at 15, but it can reach you at 18, 19,
is that
20.
what the frame data always meant? I always thought that was like the range of like your input speed on it.
No. That means that if you do it perfectly, it's 15, and then it can, if they're farther away, it can take more frames to get to them.
Yeah, well, basically,
Range.
Rip said about the range thing. It's kind of like that too, because if you're out of, if you do a move that's gonna hit at 15 frames only here, whereas it could extend it out, it'll be at 18 frames or something like that.
It's still active even after 15 frames. That's usually what that means when it's written in frame data.
I feel like there's so few of those in the game though, based on the frame data that we have at least.
Yeah, it's not super duper common.
Right.
Definitely not.
And so does that mean that most moves in Tekken only have one active frame, or is that just because we don't have the data?
Well, the thing is that, we're getting technical now, but in 3D fighting games, it's really common, especially in Soul Calibur, for a move to have variable frame data because of the way, if you sidestep right and I'm doing an A, the A is going to become active on the right side, or on the left side, but it's going to take time to get to you as you're moving to the right. So it can impact with you very late in the animation, which would make the impact frame late. You see what I mean? But in Tekken, you don't usually get horizontal attacks. You get homing moves, right?
Right.
And the homing moves would also change based on an action, like if you sidestepped. But that's like neither here nor there. The point is that if you trade with these moves, like if you impact at the same time, one person is going to retain the counter hit property of their move, or both people perhaps.
Because I feel like in Tekken, like say if Law did back 3, right?
Right.
And I see it coming at me, and I hit my counter hit 4 because it's going to take so long. I feel like I'm going to hit it and get my counter hit because I see his attack coming. I feel like that happens to me multiple times.
Okay.
So I mean, doesn't that mean that like his frames are still active and I'm hitting him, but we're not trading, and I'm getting a counter?
No, they're not active yet.
No. But I'm seeing it. It's like it's gonna hit me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
but
it's already in its
it
active
needs
range.
to activate. You know, like it needs to. You're seeing the startup, and you're counter hitting the startup. It hasn't actually
No,
activated yet.
I'm disagreeing with that. I'm saying that. Oh, I see. Maybe.
Yeah, before you disagree with it, just think about it for a second.
Yeah, because you're saying that
I say maybe.
you're saying that you're seeing it.
Yeah.
It's about to hit you.
Like I'm seeing a dragon tail. It's gonna hit me, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm
It,
going.
it hits you.
And you're saying, yeah, it's gonna hit me. So instead of hitting me, I'm gonna hit my 4 button before it comes, right? And so you're saying that I'm seeing the startup and it's not even reaching the active frames, that it's not even possible, right?
I mean, I don't even know what you're asking me, dude.
Yeah, it's
What are you
confusing what you're
asking?
saying.
I can't answer you a question in English, motherfucker.
Okay, all right, English. I feel like sometimes I see the active frame start and then I counter hit it.
Okay, yeah.
If the move is long enough, then yeah, you can counter hit them.
Yeah, imagine if
So
someone.
you're
does-
saying that I can, if a move has like say 10 frames of active frames, and I do my hit, and my hit hits them at their 5th active frame, I'm gonna get the counter hit property still, currently.
You can't
Well-
hit them at the 5th active frame unless you hit them with something that crushes it. It'll be a trade. If you hit with a high, if I do a high and you hit me with a high at the same time, that's called a trade.
Yes.
Well, I think what Rip is saying though is say the move whiffs. So like say if like say someone does a big whiff move like but you step it maybe, right?
Okay.
And like and say Rip hits him with the counter hit move like standing 4 while that move is technically in its active frames but it just whiffs completely. Like would it
Well,
counter
dude,
hit
I mean,
then?
it's really very scientific the way it works. I mean, you input the command of the move, and from the moment your character or X character starts doing the move, he is susceptible to being counter hit until that move reaches its point of connecting. I mean, that is the vulnerable window when you.
Oh, what you're saying right now, Eris, is that it's only vulnerable during its startup. What I'm saying is that I think it might be counter hittable during its active frames.
You're right, it is, but the difference is.
Wait. If these 2 hits hit at the same time in active frame, shouldn't they be a trade?
Yes, that's
Obviously,
what I said.
I understand that, but I'm saying you're saying now it's counter hit possible. So I'm saying that's the same as in Tekken 7 as it is now.
But let me finish my point. So if you do a high that's really slow, like 100 frames, and I do a jab, right? No matter what, I'm gonna hit. If we trade at the same time, it's gonna be a trade. But if I high crush it, I can still counter hit you with a low. It's gonna whiff.
During its startup, you're saying.
Or well, I mean, after it whiffs, it can't be counter hit. After it whiffs, it can't be counter hit. I don't know why I'm even fucking talking about this. Why don't you understand?
Because I mean the concept
This
here.
is the true nature of Rip. This is what we're
Jesus Christ.
The concept here of how counter hit system works in Tekken is not that clear to me.
Okay.
When we're talking about this in Tekken 7.
Let's clear it up. Lay down on the couch. Let's talk. What's the problem?
So in Tekken 7,
Who beat him yesterday, Ricky? Who beat him yesterday? That's got to be the answer. He needs someone to talk to.
It was just James. It was
Twice?
just James.
James is the only person that could have beat me there yesterday.
2 times?
Yeah.
It wasn't gonna be Ricky.
Wow.
Well, I mean, yeah, take shots at me. Why? Who cares? I don't care.
We should do another low tier god. Yeah, Viscant. I like that. So anyway, what's so confusing about this shit, man?
I'm saying that it's not clear to me that in Tekken you can only be counter hit or get a counter hit during your opponent's startup frames.
Well, I
That's
mean,
not
what
clear
do
to me.
you
That's
think
what
is
we're
the
saying.
case?
I'm saying that I think that moves have more active frames than just one, and that in that range of active frames, you can still counter hit someone without trading.
Yeah, but not every move has more active frames than just one.
I know that, and I'm saying in those moves,
Oh, the ones that do have more active frames.
more active, right?
Okay.
Then you can still get a counter hit.
You can still get a counter hit, but not with not with the move that's going to be equal in it in terms of height. So if it's a mid, I can't counter hit you with a mid, or else it'll be a trade. But if it's a high, I could counter hit you with a low, like Law's down 2-3. That'll be a counter hit, even if it's during the active frames of the high. It doesn't matter. Did we clear this up?
Okay. So no, I'm just saying. So that's what it is then. So the hit range, high, mid, or low.
High, mid, or low. Technically, that of course the wall and angles and stuff can change that.
Maybe
But
the crux system, etc.
that's the explanation. Yeah.
I'm just wondering if it's. So you're saying never a high.
Well, I don't fucking know, man. I mean, that's the rules.
I'm saying those are the rules that we're suggesting, but not necessarily are true. That's
Well,
my problem.
isn't that the case with every single fucking rule in Tekken Tag 2? It's never necessarily true. You never know. It could go right through your legs, and you could be like, "Fuck."
We saw something like that yesterday too.
That's what I'm
saw that
saying.
yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of the way the game works. Like
That was
shit
the one-
happens.
We saw that, and I was like, dude, even Jimmy could be watching that and be like,
Yeah, I don't know.
there's no answer for
Don't
that.
ask
Jimmy
me.
would not have an answer.
See,
have no
another
answer.
example is like, let's say, Fang's crouch dash 1, or is it crouch? Yeah, crouch dash 1. That move, the low headbutt thing, I mean,
Yeah.
it goes through other characters all day. Even though they're doing a low, it'll go through them. So this is a case where a low is not trading with another low. They're just going right through each other. So, yeah, the rules are rules, but Tekken Tag 2 likes to bend the rules a lot. So I wouldn't say it's 1,000,000%, 100% put your life savings on it, but that is the rule. If it's active, you kind of have to avoid the hit to counter hit it. Otherwise, you're going to either trade or get hit yourself.
I don't even think. I'm pretty sure Rip's theory though is wrong, just in terms of active frames. Like I think once a move is active, it cannot be counter hit.
That's also possible too.
I would
I don't
like
know.
to know
It's
that.
such
That's
a
what I'm saying.
dumb question. Not dumb, but like really
if you-
stupid.
It's such an important question.
If you want to,
Actually.
if you want to try it, do something like a move with the long startup, or a long active frame, like
Right, but we'd have to know what that
Ganu's
is.
rolling move on the ground, right? And then do something, do another move that you can do from long range. Wow.
I mean, there
Or
are
even-
exceptions. There are exceptions to the rule, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
that is the rule. And it doesn't really even matter in the context that we started at. I mean, this is like a super rare occasion that you're talking about, Rip. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Well, I'm just wondering if it's actually like how much is actually changed in Tekken 7. You know what I mean? Like,
So
I
you're
said it's
skeptical
changed.
on whether or not it's even changed.
No, I'm saying it is changed when it impacts at the first frame together, right? Like that for sure is happening. I think.
I haven't played it. All I know is that if two people connect with a move, now
Right.
they're getting stunned. And usually moves that in Tekken, moves that need a counter hit to get a stun, they won't get a stun during a trade. That's something that just has never existed
Yeah.
and now does. So, in my opinion, I think that how everyone's kind of bitching a little bit about, oh, they're making the game noob friendly and they're giving you these frame traps and et cetera, et cetera. Well, not frame traps. What are they called? Armor overkills or whatever they're called.
Rage Arts and Power Crush.
Power Crush, that was it. So they're giving these new players these Power Crush moves. But if you ask me, I think that this new concept of trading hits, retaining the property, could be implementation for better players. Because better players know their data, better players know their traps, and this gives better players more of an opportunity to take full advantage of the less knowledgeable, less aware player. So what if this is like a way for Namco to counterbalance the inclusion of things like armor moves? Because I think we can all agree armor moves are for those people who don't want to deal with frames. They just want to fucking do it, right? Now
Well, I'm just
you have
imagining
the
like you're gonna set up a frame trap and then you're gonna go for your counter move. I'm gonna fucking power crush through it. It's like
Well, I mean,
okay.
yeah, but think about it this way. I mean, if I'm gonna set you up for a situation where everyone jabs, right? That's pretty easy
Right.
to do. If I'm gonna set you up for a situation where you're gonna jab, now I can really punish you super hard for it. While before it's kind of like, yeah, I could do this and it'll trade with a jab. There are millions. Oh, here's an excellent example. Fang's down forward 1 is 0 on block. If you do down forward 1 with Fang and do back 1, it'll trade with a jab, but nothing will happen. If I do back 1 after down forward 1 T7, I'm going to trade with the jab, dash up, and get a big-ass shoulder on your ass. So that type of a little tool, that little inclusion, changes Fang quite a bit. I mean, I didn't even think about that, but dude, 0 on block into back 1, trading with the jab is hella fucked up. That means that you can't even jab anymore after you block, a down forward 1 from Fang. I think this kind of thing, it may seem like not that big of a deal right now, but I think perhaps, this is just me speculating, perhaps this is a way for the developers to give the better player more options to beat someone through traps as opposed to, dealing with it via sidestep, etc., etc. What are your thoughts on that issue? Because, I mean, I know people were bitching about the, armor moves, etc. So what do you guys think about that? Ricky?
No, that's exactly what I said. Like, I think that frame traps just become more deadly, just in that sense. You know, being zero on block now is almost like for some characters being +1 on
Right.
block. You know,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
especially for Ganu and Fang, you know, with counter hit 10 frame moves. Not every character is gonna get something that good, you know, but
Dude,
that's why.
Dragonoff as well. Dragonoff's down one, the elbow. That's zero on block, but they're in crouch. So if no matter what button they push, if it's not a high crush, counter hit 1-2-1 is gonna hit. So that's fucked up. You know, this is like even better. You know, if they try to do like, there's lots of stuff you could do, lots of setups with Lee 223. You know, there's a lot of setups that I'm sure are going to be potentially possible with characters like it's an interesting way for Namco to make a character that perhaps you already know a lot about feel even newer. It's like altering their frame data in a sense, depending on how you look at it. The way Rixta said it, it's kind of like giving some moves more advantage. You know, in tag 2 there are situations where when you do this move, like let's say Fang's down forward 1, you know that if they do a jab, that is something that they can do to trade with your back 1. So it's something that you have to keep in mind. But in T7, maybe that's going to be something you don't have to keep in mind anymore. As a Fang player, you could just be like down forward 1, back 1, down forward 1, back 1, and you know they have to sidestep or duck or crush or something. I think that this could be a much bigger change than kind of meets the eye. You know, it's a big deal, I think. What are your thoughts, Rip?
I feel like it's not that different than frame caps that good characters, or like the characters with good frame caps already have. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like an extension of that, and it makes it more common, I guess.
Yeah, much more, I
Right?
think.
Assuming that the frame data stays the same, it makes it much more common, right?
Right.
But if yeah, so, I mean, we'll see how that works out, I guess. But if it is much more common, then I think Power Crush becomes important again. And especially for new players, because they're like, damn it, he does that and then he kills me, and
Right,
then
exactly.
instead I'm just going to Power Crush through it. And so they have an easy option with it too. So it's not like a super overpowered thing. I think like as long as they're somewhat competent, say like, okay, he's doing rock, I just need to do paper.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like it's as good as frame tabs used to be, just because Power Quest exists, but we still don't know how Power Quest is going to end up. So we'll see.
That's basically my point. I think like the inclusion of Power Crush really like weakens the concept of frame traps, right? I mean, it's like now you have this tool, you don't even have to give a fuck, just do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of like a way for them to, okay, we put this tool in, it's going to make frame traps weaker. This is kind of a way for frame traps to kind of perhaps retain some of their strength that they lost from the inclusion of armor moves. So it seems very deliberate to me. Like the idea of armor moves being included, and then I think about it, I'm like, wow, that fucks with frame traps a lot. That kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you think about this, it's like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe this is their idea. Maybe they're thinking more about this than meets the eye, which is overall, I think the thing I take away from this is that it's good. It seems like they're really thinking about what armor is going to do in Tekken. What is it going to do to the game, the flow of the game? And the fact that they're changing trades like this tells me that they're really thinking about it. Like, how will it alter the overall lasagna in the game, So, I don't know. I think it's a great inclusion. I think it's a good way to make characters like Steve better naturally. Like, use the system to make them better. To me, it almost reminds me of back in, what was it, Tekken 5, when they... Was it 5? No. Tekken 6 was the first game when they homogenized jab speeds. Before they had 8 frame and 10 frame and whatever. King was 9 frame jabs. But in Tekken 6, everyone has 10 frame jabs. And this change almost feels like that change, where it's like, okay, it's kind of balancing the system out. It's a system change. Everyone can use it. I don't know. I personally kind of think back at that change, which, in my opinion, is the best change that has ever happened in the history of Tekken. Changing jab speeds to all being 10. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I don't even think we've ever talked about that. It's such an old change. But what do you guys think about that? Do you miss 8 frames or do you prefer it this way? What do you think, Rip?
I miss it because I used to have one,
Right.
but like for every other character, I think for the series it's fine. Like I think it's a good change.
Yeah, I think so too. What do you think, Ricky?
I've never had a 10 frame jab in any of my Tekken, so I've never even known what that felt like. So everyone getting nerfed to 10 frame jab, I was like, I'm still the same. Nothing changed for Ganu.
You've
So
you never mained any other characters other than 10 frame characters?
not really. I mean, I've played other characters, but Genryu's always been the one character I understood. 10 frames is headbutt. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I can't do anything until 12 frames where I get one.
Yeah, he's a very unique character, though. I mean, like his standing jab, standing two is very peculiar considering. But yeah, you're unqualified to even have an opinion on this.
Well, I mean, yeah, Bob. That's why I switched to Bob in Tekken 6, and he had a 10-frame jab.
Yeah,
But I mean, everyone else did, so it didn't really change much.
yeah, I think yeah, Kings used to be 9 frames, I think, and there were a bunch of 8 frames. All the female characters had 8-frame jabs, if I recall correctly. I don't even think there were any female characters that ever had a 10-frame jab before Tekken 6. And I think it's a great change. And I don't know, I'm super excited about this game. Another thing that was kind of news recently, I'll go to it on this shit, but Wonky, or was it AAK? I think AAK put up a video talking about this Lab Zero discovery. Can you fill me in, Ricky? I don't know all the details.
I've only read about it through like tweets, randomly. So all I know is that Lab Zero and I think Rib also said Naughty Dog, I guess, was involved in it too.
It says it right there.
Okay. Well, basically, the guys that helped make Skullgirls have found a way to integrate PlayStation 3 arcade sticks on PS4. Now, before we all thought that you could only use a PS4 stick on the PS4, but I guess it's a developer thing, not a hardware thing. So any game that wants to allow PS3 sticks on the game, they can do it. They just have to implement the code into their game. So now that just means we have to all beg Namco, we have to beg NRS and the Guilty Gear makers. Every fighting game out that comes out now, we have to beg for them to allow this, or else we're all gonna have to buy PS4 sticks.
Now, my first instinct when I heard this was, first of all, I was thinking, well, that's kind of weird. Why doesn't the game developer just do that? And then the logic, I guess, is, could it be because they don't want to? Could it be because they want to sell their own sticks, like the Tekken 7 Mad Catz arcade stick or the Tekken 7 Hori arcade stick for PS4? Is there like a business reason why they're not doing it? Because I mean, I always thought it's kind of fucked up because Mad Catz makes such good products, and Adark, etc. makes such good products that you just buy one and you're good to go. So how are they gonna make money? I mean, of course they're gonna make money, but it just seems like the better your product is, the more fucked you are in some cases, because you're just gonna keep that shit forever and just change the buttons, etc. So this might be, I just assume that this might be a way for these companies to be like, okay, well, look, we put this shit through research and development and made this new arcade stick. We're not going to make it work for the old shit. You have to buy the new shit, That was my logic. What do you think?
I don't think that far. It's gotten that far. I mean, like, I'm sure the arcade stick guys now are like, well, that's kind of cool, like. Either way, if someone needs a stick for PS4, they can buy it for PS3 or whatever. But the fact that you have to develop it into the game, it's like, then the only people that really would benefit from that are, the actual developers themselves, So NRS, if they wanted to hook up with PDP again, make a PS4 stick, they could do that, because you make them money and then they can run a tournament that Justin will win and Flo will get second at.
But I mean, they could do that anyway just for PS4.
They don't have to do it with PS3 at all.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the matter of like the cross-mogination between.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe they just won't put it in there just for that reason,
That's what I was thinking. I mean, just business.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just business, But the fact that the developer had to find it like Lab Zero had to find it themselves. It wasn't like, I don't know if it was a Sony decided like sticks won't work on the PS4 for whatever reason.
So when PS4 came out, they announced that like PS3 hardware would work with the system if developers put in the support for it. So they weren't locking it. They weren't locking it out. Like I think on Xbox One, you cannot even do this. Like even if you try to code, it's not going to work. Basically.
Wow. Is that true?
Pretty sure.
So on Xbox One, it's like they don't want that shit. Like fuck you, you can't use it.
And it really sucks because like it applies to all peripherals. So like people who have like $500 racing wheels, like on Xbox 360, last gen, dude, get a new one.
Fucked up.
Yeah,
that doesn't even. You know what is even more counterintuitive to me is Xbox is a Microsoft console, and Microsoft is like plug and play city, right? I mean, isn't that what it's about? Plug it in, and it works.
Yeah, but now you have to plug in the only the good shit that works for this
dude.
system
They
They
only.
never let you plug in a
Bullshit.
PlayStation controller into that shit either. You know, it's USB.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. It's
No,
like,
it doesn't, dude. USB. Their controller sucks. Here's a better one. Plug that shit in. You know.
well, okay, if I'm Xbox, I'm not gonna let my arch nemesis plug his fucking shit into my
USB.
butthole. No way. Fuck that. That's my arch nemesis. You know, but
low
this
tier god left is can't plug it.
man, that was crazy, dude. That Scant is like a hero. He was so tough. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so yeah, I mean that's interesting news. I think it's definitely something that we care about because especially now that we're on the cusp of the new generation of fighting games. Mortal Kombat 10.
I just bought a PS4 stick.
Oh, nice. Show it.
Oh man, it's all the way over here and shit. Ugh.
I think he bought the Hori one.
Yeah.
Ooh. It looks nice actually. It looks like
nice.
it looks like a Velix, but it's the old V3 body.
V3SA.
V3SA.
New art.
But it's all like those weird like Hori parts now. So it's the
Hayabusa
Hayabusas. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's
it's nice. I like it. Oh, and they brought back the start. You remember those start buttons in like the Tekken 5 stick, where like the button is like flat with the top, and so when you push it in, it goes like inward. Like,
Oh, nice.
they brought that button back.
That's tight. So
Yeah,
it's like subterranean, like it goes in.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, cool. That sounds good. I haven't even seen that. Do you know what the stick's called?
V4 Hayabusa. I think.
V4 Hayabusa.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Cool. I gotta check that out. I think one thing that we naturally the direction we went in, and I was talking about this yesterday at Wednesday Night Fights, but now that we have the new games coming out, Mortal Kombat and Tekken 7 or whatever, have we put much thought into what console you guys think will be the tournament standard? And I mean more specifically in our area because I mean, you know, that's where we live. But Wednesday Night Fights kind of is one of the big ones. So, and they have all those Xboxes. Do you guys think we're going to have to play Tekken 7 on Xbox or even MK? I think you would know, Rip.
I think that people should go with PS4 because PS4 has more power than Xbox One. So, like in the last generation, Xbox's 360, obviously all the games had less frame rate drops than on PS3, right?
Mhm.
And if this generation, if PS4 has more power than Xbox One, then all games should have less frame rate drops on PS4. Therefore, PS4 should be console of choice for the next gen system.
I can
Just based
agree
on
with
that logic.
But that would mean that Valle and Watso are going to have to fork over the dough and buy all these PS4s that they don't have.
But they don't have Xbox Ones. Oh, they do.
For Killer
Ew,
Instinct. That's what I'm
gross.
saying.
Barf.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They already have Xbox Ones. If they make
You're
us
right.
play that shit, that's going to suck.
Yeah. And you know,
What?
like Evo had that big old Microsoft logo last year, so
Yeah.
yeah.
But wait a minute. The year before last year, didn't they, or 2 years ago, didn't they officially stream Evo through PSN? I think that's what happened. There was a deal between Sony and Evo.
It was more, but I don't know if it was Sony more so than it was the fact that Ustream was partnered with the integrated into like the PSN home or whatever.
I remember
That was a
seeing
long time
Sony.
ago, though.
Yeah, I remember seeing Sony though, like all over the place. Sony, SCEA, or whatever.
you're right.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know how quickly we're gonna even. I think this obviously comes to the Mortal Kombat question, but like at least right now, the next fighting game to come out, the next big one is Guilty Gear Xrd, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna move to PS4 for that game. It's PS3 and PS4, but they said the only difference between those two games is that one is in 1080p and the other is 720. That's pretty much it. You can even play.
Wow.
PS3 can play against people that play on PS4. You know, there's cross
Yeah.
compatibility or whatever. So we're not even gonna have to deal with that up until I think Mortal Kombat's gonna be the first one, and it's gonna be weird to see if there's like a huge difference between the old version or PS3 and
Yeah.
PS4 or
Dude,
anything
what
like
about
that.
just load times? I mean, I'm sure the load times are going to be way better. You know, for
Yeah, of
Evil
course.
Within, I was talking to Mussolini yesterday at Wednesday Night Fights, and he was saying that he bought Evil Within for PS3, and the load times were so fucking long, he bought a PS4. and was like, "Let me just play this shit on PS4," and it's like night and day. He said.
Wow.
So, and it's the same game.
Wow.
I mean, I know some of these load times can get out of control, and if we're talking about a tournament, we like to fucking let's go. We like to move things along. So I don't know if it's, I mean, I think it would be pretty important for them to pick up. Why don't they just get a sponsor or some shit? Alien PS3s. I don't know.
I mean,
Alien
but
PS4s,
you brought up for Tekken 7 though. We have a bunch of Alienware computers that Wednesday night fight. You might not have to worry about it at all.
If
So
Tekken 7 comes out on PC, maybe they'll just do it on PC.
Mhm.
And
So, I mean,
Mortal Kombat as well. Isn't that possibly going to be on
Holy
PC?
shit, it is.
Well,
Did they
so
announce
that's
it for
just
PS3?
Oh, PC is the console of choice.
PC Master Race, dude. Isn't that what they say on the internet? I'm
Yes,
repeating.
they say that on the internet. Good job.
Yeah, I know. I
It's
know
a,
about
it's a,
that.
It's a Mimi.
Yeah, Master Race. So, okay, maybe this is the future.
Wow. PC is the future. We don't need a Sony or a new stick or an Xbox One.
Wait, so you could just use PS3 sticks on PC, no matter.
PC?
No
Yeah.
problem.
Bring your Xbox stick over
Wow.
too. Whatever.
Well, so the competitive scene that's actually a good thing, isn't it? Of
course.
Everyone thinks it's a good thing, right?
PC is also better. I mean, in terms of esports, because you have so many more manufactured
Sponsors.
parts. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I think that
PC.
we at least usually when we talk about a topic, it ends with like, well, whatever. But this seems like a nice wrap up. Nice
But you know what?
conclusion.
Realistically, I mean, it'll only depend on whether Via keeps his Alienware sponsored thing going. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
like, if he doesn't, then it's gonna be like everyone's gonna be like, "Yo, Microsoft, Xbox One." Everyone buy an Xbox One stick.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on who's paying the bills. And
It's
stuff.
all but I think not only that though. It's like, I mean, how soon is are those games gonna come out on PC compared to the console version? Like, is Mortal Kombat gonna be released
Yeah.
on PC
Simultaneous
alongside
release.
with
I
the
think
console
so.
versions?
They
Is it
didn't do
really?
that with Injust Ass.
No, it was super late.
And Mortal Kombat as well.
Fine, yep.
And generally speaking, PC gets a later
Yeah.
release. But I mean, maybe that's because they're developed for console, and now they're developing for PC.
I'm pretty sure it's because it's because of piracy.
Really?
It's harder to pirate. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Like, I have no stats on this whatsoever, but I would bet easily, whatever, that PC has more piracy than any other console system.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah,
I
for
would
sure.
imagine so.
Okay, so I mean, so if you're gonna release something on PC and this other consoles, everyone's gonna get it on PC pirated and be like, whatever, F the
Yeah.
other consoles, right? Like, so
Mhm.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I guess it does. I mean, that's a good point. I'm a total noob when it comes to PCs, and I could download any game right now if I wanted to, so it's really easy. I've never been able to figure out how to get shit on my PlayStation pirated, so that alone tells you that the average schmuck can do it on PC for sure, So,
Yeah, so
I don't know.
I think it's just gonna be a community thing, like what are the Mortal Kombat guys are so wishy-washy with everything. Like,
Yeah.
oh, PS3 at first. Well, we don't like PS3. Let's play up Xbox.
Yeah.
We don't even like the game. Let's not even show up the Wednesday night fights anymore.
Yeah.
It's like,
let's not forget the stage select debacle. I mean, I was telling them the whole time to just leave it the way it is, and they were like, wah, 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 Deathstroke, wah, 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 the fucking missile. Oh my god, these guys. That stage was tight. What was it called? Aircraft?
Ferris. Yeah.
Ferris Aircraft. That stage alone is the reason these clowns got into a fucking tickling competition over disagreeing about what stage it is, and in the end, look what happens. All that jibber jabbering, and it ends up being, oh, let's just leave it the way it is. Fucking shitheads, dude. I can't
Hey,
wait
one
to
more thing.
mingle with the Test Your Mic community. I can't wait for that shit. I love it.
Me and Ricky were talking shit to him last night already.
Yeah, we got in it with Tyrant a little bit.
Beautiful, dude. It's already starting. I can smell the Mortal Kombat scene is starting to gain strength, and they're starting to open their mouths up and shit. And I'm gonna have to remind them. Don't forget. That's two
Oh,
games.
man. Hey, one more thing about the MKX release. Like, if assuming PC release doesn't happen for a while, whatever, right? We have to choose a console, and they obviously have way more PS3s and Xbox 360s than they have of Xbox Ones right now. But for MKX specifically, NRS is developing the next gen stuff, but they have some other, random studio developing the PS3, Xbox 360 ports.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no guarantee that those ports will be, to the same level of the original, basically.
Like, in terms of what? Running?
And I mean, in terms of frame rate or like
Yeah,
hitboxes or anything.
Slayer told us that the PS4 or the Xbox One version of Injustice runs faster than the PS3 version does. So it messes with frame data, obviously, because it's running faster
Whoa, Injustice is on PS4?
or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
That's on PS4.
So it definitely doesn't play the same.
yeah. There's a. I mean, I don't know how big of a difference it is, but Slayer said it's noticeable that it runs a lot faster.
So he doesn't like it because it's better,
What do
right?
you mean? No, he doesn't like it because it's not what he's used to. You know,
Right, but what
he
is
learned the game on PS3, and then all of a sudden, everything that he remember, like he learned on PS3, when he plays it on PS4, it might not work. You know, just because of how everything changed.
it might okay, I'm confused. Okay. So when you say it might not work, do you mean it's because he's doing it wrong because the game is different, or is it because it doesn't work? Like
But
it's
well, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know because I only asked him what the differences between those two games are, and he said it's noticeably faster. So frame data is not like the same, I guess.
huh. Wow, that is
I mean,
crazy.
you gotta remember, like, remember when Super Turbo, they said that there's random, like old Super Turbo, like
Yeah.
it would drop frames, just
Okay.
because,
Yeah.
just to build up the speed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they did in Injustice. So there's might be just frame dropping randomly. I'm not. This is all speculation, of course. So I don't know, but
I believe you. You're a scientist.
I think that sounds really shitty. I think that multiple consoles having a release of a game, it's a good idea in terms of business, but I've never really liked the idea. I always liked that Tekken was on PlayStation only, at least up until whatever game it was, Tekken 6. And that sensation of it being on PlayStation only was really comforting for a competitor because you knew, like, even if it's not exactly the same as the arcade, at least you know that this is what everyone's playing on, and you're never going to go to a tournament where it's on PC and some shit happens that you're not used to, So I kind of am not looking forward to this whole, console choosing fiasco that's going to happen for next gen. But, I mean, we've done it a million times already, so at this point, whoever decides, they're going to decide. I hope it's an organizer as opposed to the community, though. Like, I really want just someone like Evo to be like, fuck you, it's on PC. Go fuck yourself. I don't even give a shit how many polls or how many threads or how many times Eris wins a tournament. It's going to be on PC. And that's what I want. But who knows if that's what we'll get.
yeah, the biggest thing I'm worried about. Well, I mean, I'm automatically assuming that it's not going to be on the old generation, like, or not current generation, I guess. Just because of that new developer, that's scary to me.
Yeah.
It's like when Killer Instinct, like the original Killer Instinct, was in the arcades, and then they made it for like Game Boy. It's like it's not the same game at all, dude. Like, what the hell is it?
It's
not
called
even
the same
company.
thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, somebody in the chat mentioned that like developers should stop making games on these older consoles. But like, I was randomly looking at these charts last night, and like the old consoles, PS3 has and Xbox 360 actually, they both have 83 million units sold, right? 83 million, and PS4 has 11. So there's 70 million more people they could be selling the game to. So obviously they're gonna do it.
Yeah, it's a bit at this juncture in the age of a PS4. I don't think those consoles are ready for them to be exclusive yet, which is why it's so surprising that Bloodborne is PS4 exclusive, because it's like such a huge title. Everyone's talking about it, and it's not going to be on PC. It's really shocking in terms of business decision. Like, Sony must have fucking paid them like a shitload for it to be exclusive to one console. I don't know. That seems
One
weird
of
to
those
me.
things has the taste of the other person's dick in their mouth. I don't know
Big
which
time.
one which, but
Big time. I think Bloodborne has the taste of Sony's dick. Or did I get that wrong?
I think you got it backwards. But it's
Yeah,
okay.
It depends on who you are, I guess, right?
Yeah.
they both got the taste.
It depends on what's a win in your eyes. Score, I got the taste of dick in my mouth. You never know. It's a complex math equation. You got to figure it out. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested. The idea of it all being on PC is good to me. I like the idea of sponsors. I like the idea of support, and the fact that Via already has all those PCs sounds good to me. So
How long did it take for PS2 to finally get like done with? Like in terms of developers stop making games for PS2s. Into the PS3's lifespan. Like,
I can't really remember, but I remember 5.0 was the only Tekken, the last Tekken on PS2.
Yeah, but that was in
So-
2004,
Yeah.
and PS3 didn't come out until like 2006.
Seven.
2007.
Wow. And then it came out with Bloodline Rebellion, but Bloodline Rebellion Online didn't come
Dark
out.
Resurrection.
Oh, sorry. Dark Resurrection Online didn't come out till way later than that, right?
No, DR came out in
It was
2007 because
soon
that's
after.
when Evil was for DR.
I forgot the timeline. Oh, it came out on PSP. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It came out on PSP and not on PS2. And then it came out on PS3 when the console was launched. I remember that now. Okay, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe...
I mean, I think it's gonna take longer this time around than it is the last time
Yeah,
because
I think so, too.
of how little difference there is between the two consoles. So,
There
it
has
could
to be a reason for people to make this console a household product. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, a PS3 is like everyone has one, or two, So I think that yeah, it's gonna take a while. It's a weird business decision, and there's definitely some major dick sucking going on if there's a console exclusive. There's major money involved in that. So.
Speaking of Bloodborne, I just remembered. I think Sony used to own Demon Souls, right?
I don't think it was Sony
It was
owned. It
exclusive
was.
or something.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sony
Yeah, and I'm
owns
pretty sure
Demon
they let it
Souls.
go.
No, they
didn't
didn't let it go.
I think they let it go.
Demon
They let
Souls
development
is
go or something.
Demon Souls is only available on that console, and it's not available anywhere else. Still, and
Okay.
I think they changed the name to Dark Souls because of that. I think that's what happened.
Well, I looked at some documentary BS about it, not even a real documentary, like a YouTube video, and documentary, YouTube video. Yeah, basically, it was basically something like Sony, like kind of felt like they screwed up, and I think that's why they're paying for Bloodborne. Long story short,
Ooh. So you think it's a fuck up by Sony? I don't really know the story
like
too heavily.
at the time, they didn't think it was a F up. They thought like this game is kind of retarded, like whatever.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
heard that. They were
Yeah.
like, yeah, this isn't gonna be popular. Uh-oh. We fucked up.
Yeah. And so now they're like, yo, we got to get one back, and so
That's an excellent point. Also, the game's being marketed as being very Demon Souls like. So, maybe that you're right. Maybe it is Sony's like, it's like a I'm sorry blowjob. Forgive me, please. Forgive us, please. So I don't know. I'm excited. This shit's gonna be tight. The new consoles are coming out. The PC ports all sound like a good idea.
we didn't talk about yet the release date of T7.
Oh yeah. So again, on avoidingthepuddle.com Wonky's site, he put up the release date, which is supposed to be February in arcades. That's pretty soon. Sooner than I think a lot of us thought, right?
Definitely.
I thought it was gonna come out in arcades in December. Like that
This
was
year?
I don't know why. Yeah, I thought it was just gonna I thought the location was like halfway done. We got like 2 more months. It'll hit in December in Japan only. Whatever.
So this is later than you thought.
It's later than I thought. Yeah.
Okay, well, what does this mean in terms of a console release for us? Everyone's joking 2018 and shit.
It's coming 2020.
I went back and looked at the release for Tekken 5, and it was only 2 months. It came
2
out in
months?
It's
arcade.
3, right?
I think it was 3, but it was around there. Yeah,
February, I
it was
think.
super short.
Yeah, and that was, interestingly enough, Tekken 5 was the first Tekken where they introduced the card system. It wasn't a Bana Pass, but it was a card system. And logic would tell you is, okay, they put this research into creating this system. They're going to let it flourish in the arcades for a long time. Nope. Boom, console release right away. So, in your opinions, do you guys think that perhaps that could be something they do again? Or are they going to really, let this game marinate in the arcades, make us watch videos for fucking ever? I mean, Rip, what do you think?
Well, yeah. I don't think they're gonna do.
was that like Hindi or something?
I think it was Swahili. I'm not sure, but yeah. I don't think that they're gonna do the Tekken 5 route again. I think they got too much of a backlash for that.
Yeah,
But I was
it's not
thinking
good
if
for America.
if arcade is going to be in February 2015, then I think the earliest, absolute earliest we will get it is going to be around September, October of 2015.
Wait a minute. When is the 25th anniversary of Tekken again?
20th anniversary is in December.
Of this year?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. Which is another reason I thought that Tekken 7 was coming out in December.
What about someone, I forget who it was, but someone mentioned the 20th anniversary of Tekken on console being next year.
I think so.
Why have an
I've seen
anniversary for a platform that doesn't even necessarily exist anymore when you can have a big celebration for a console release? And doesn't Tekken always release in October or around there?
Fall. The last three. Tekken 5, since then. Tekken 5 was obviously in February. And then since then, all of them were in the fall. DR on PS3, Tekken 6, and now Tekken Tag 2.
Yeah, so maybe we can all kind of
Hope, right?
I don't really think that much hoping is necessary. I think maybe a year or so, 7, 8 months.
Well, look at this. If it's gonna be February, right, and it's 8 months, then that would put it at October. That's not bad. I mean,
Yeah.
8 months. I think that's a good range.
I mean, it's not too bad. Not quite a year, but,
Yeah.
it'll give arcades some time to make some money.
And then if they push it to 2016 though, and they're going with the same fall release date thing, that's gonna suck.
No way.
Dude, who knows? You don't
I know.
I don't know.
There's
We
no
don't-
way. There's no way.
Anyway, I'm betting for like September 2015. That's if I had to put
Yeah.
money, I'd say September.
September 12th, 2015. That's when it's
Damn,
going to happen.
it is gonna be because it's like that's September 11th was Tekken Tag 2. Now they gotta go 12.
They're going to go 12. That's what I'm seeing.
Don't games usually come out on a Tuesday or
Whatever,
Monday
bro.
or something?
Don't try and actually predict this, Rick.
The 12th is a Saturday, dude.
They don't like it when you tell them what to do.
All right, release it on September 8th, 2015.
8th is good.
September 15th.
Okay,
No,
that
that's-
works
that-
with me too.
I don't like that date.
Okay, don't do it on that date.
Oh, 8 is much better actually, Rick, because that's 9-8. People can remember that. They can't remember 9-1-5.
Whatever. The point is that chances.
9-29.
Listen,
No, they should release it on 9/20, just so to let everyone know it's the 20th anniversary.
I agree with that, but it's a Sunday. Not gonna happen.
Who gives a fuck?
you guys are
Eris, your
retards.
thoughts?
Well, I think you guys are both morons of an equal level. Neither of you shines, which is really interesting because you're both quite moronic. It's impressive. It's very harmonious, actually, hearing this kind of a conversation between you two. Anyway, can we,
9-1.
that sounds good too.
Yeah.
Either way, the point is you guys are morons. And the secondary point, which is far less important, is that maybe we're going to get it pretty soon, right? I mean, it could be pretty soon. February is earlier than I thought it was going to be in arcades.
Okay.
Well, I guess February. What month is it? October? Damn, that's like
Yeah.
6 months away from now.
It's 4 months away.
Fuck. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Yeah.
know when Mortal Kombat 10's coming out? What the fuck am I supposed to play? Hearthstone?
Dude, you're already
supposed to
playing it.
Guilty Gear Exerd.
I'm so mildly interested in that game. It even seems like Guilty Gear fans are mildly interested. Is that even like a real sequel?
It's a sequel, yeah. I mean, the Guilty Gear players are really into it. It's just they can't play it, and it's been out in arcade, so all they can do is watch and talk about it.
Do you
Oh,
know when the console releases for that?
December.
December 16th, I think.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's the next game that's gonna come out.
Gamer D in the chat just said, "What if they make like Tekken 7 VR? We're not getting that shit till 2015 fall.
They are gonna make a Tekken 7.
Then we're not
VR.
getting it till 2015, bro."
So you think that it's gonna come out in February in arcades, and then a few months later it's gonna come out with Tekken 7 VR, and then
I don't think that'll be a few months later. That'll be like the next February.
You think it'd be a year?
Was the original Tag 2 not unlimited? The original version was that out for a year?
No way. That
It
should
didn't
was
last that long.
Way faster, but I think that was so fast because they saw the drop off and they needed to make solo mode.
That's a good point. Yeah, I remember solo mode being an emergency. Like, oh shit.
And then Tekken 6 to VR, I remember that being a while. That wasn't nearly as quick as unlimited.
It was much longer than it needed to be. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tekken 6 to
uh,
BR was pretty long.
Even 5.0 to DR was a long time, right?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, that was
because
a long
you
time.
because you had
at least.
2 Evos.
but one of those Evos 5.1 was out, I think.
I don't know.
5.1 was out during the second Evo, I think. I know DR might have been out during the second Evo.
I think it
of
was.
5.0.
Are you serious? We played
I'm pretty
Tekken
sure-
5.0 at Evo while a newer version was
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, because there was no
There was no
console
choice.
version.
Yeah.
Man, Tekken was way more popular back then.
It was,
I think
for
it was way more popular. That's crazy to even think about. Cause look at Soul Calibers. They never get like a double treatment at Evo regardless. You know, it's like, nope, you're not popular enough. So I don't know. I mean, that sounds like a long time to me. That's kind of a bummer. I was thinking for some reason that February was way sooner, but it's not.
It's still soon though. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Let's
I
just
think
go to Japan, February. Let's make it happen.
Kickstarter.
We're all
Internet.
going. Oh yeah, we got-
Internet, help us out.
Super Arcade. No, we gotta get Low Tier God to win some money matches.
Oh, dude. Wait, what?
Yeah, he was gonna donate his money if he had won
Oh.
to Super Arcade.
Well, he's 0 for 2 though, so we're not going anywhere.
Well, what we have to do is talk shit to him on Twitter.
Get him. Ooh. Okay, it's like a new part-time job.
Money. Yeah, exactly.
We gotta learn how to play Street Fighter though.
Okay.
No. We get someone else who knows how to play Street Fighter that can beat low tier guy. That's all we need.
Okay, who are we gonna get?
We don't need
Anyone?
outside. Yeah, anyone.
I'm just
So
kidding, man. I'm just kidding. It's cool. Man, the way he was reacting to Viscant's shit talking was so like indicative that he's not an arcade player. Like Viscant's old school. Viscant's an arcade player, and the way he was talking shit was the way people talk shit when they're in a serious money match. It's not like they're enemies, but they don't love each other and they want to fight it out in a match, you know? During situations like that, generally, there is a little bit of fuck you, you're a bitch, etc., etc. Charge characters are for people with low IQ, you know? That was one of my favorite quotes of the night. But, you know, the way he was reacting, like fluffing his feathers up, I mean, I even told him afterwards, you know, it's like, it just doesn't work. I mean, look at your opponent. You're going to fluff your feathers up against Viscant? I mean, he's like half your size and he's going to bite your eyeball out, you know? So, I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting to me, the way he was not well-versed in the arts. You know, he's quite a shit talker. He's quite talented at that, you know? And he says funny stuff, you know? He's quick. But it was interesting how when it got down to him actually being there face to face, it's kind of hard sometimes to lose and have this little guy say that you just got done sucking his dick. It can be pretty tough. You gotta be buff, you know. You gotta have thick skin. So either way,
He was buff. He didn't have thick skin though.
Yeah, I guess they're popcorn in this context. You need the real muscles. You need thick skin. You need to be tough. Have comebacks. I mean, that's the way to do it. That Raptor guy's got the right idea because he's sharp. Win or lose, at least he's got something to say to make himself, you know. I mean, that's the strat, you know. Fluffing your feathers and getting in someone's face like you're going to fight him is like any old schmuck on the planet could do that. You know, any numbskull could do that. But coming up with something clever to say and getting the crowd on your side and that kind of thing is really, I think, super dope. And the way that Viscant pulled through like that and he stood up to him and he talked shit afterwards. It was like, man, this guy's a fucking hero. We got to carry this motherfucker off, you know?
And then you had fucking Fuson, Christian. Oh!
Did you see the Street Fighter Alpha?
Yes, that video was glorious.
I hysterically laughed when I was streaming earlier. Like you know, you see these funny pictures, but that one was perfect. Look to your god is Akuma. Oh, just so perfect, dude. I love it.
It was nicely done.
The internet is hard at work, 24/7, making shit like that, and I love it. So, did we forget anything? You wrote that shit down, didn't you, Rip? Since you're a little drowsy.
February counter trade, bitch stuff, sticks. Tournament standard. We got it.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess it's a excellent opportunity to perhaps segue into a bitch calling.
Sure.
Are you guys?
Great idea.
Oh, did you want to talk at all about Smash?
I mean, they announced today that there's 8-man Smash and that Mewtwo is going to be available if you buy both versions of the game, Wii U and 3DS version.
Cool.
I don't know what else they announced.
And you can't even discuss it.
I don't know why I would not be able to discuss it.
I see. Ricky, your thoughts?
I just realized that because I don't have a Wii U, I just thought about like how 8-man Smash, that means just 8 controllers.
No, dude, Rick, I heard that like you can use your 3DS as a controller.
What?
Oh, well, that makes sense. But I mean, like the fact that any system, well, I guess the PS3 takes more than four controllers, right? Technically, can't you link up?
Ask me.
You can link up a bunch of controllers to it, right?
Do they have a multi-tap still? Remember
No,
those? Those things were tight. I remember when I got one. Remember the multi-tap for PS2 looked like a little mini PS2. That thing was tight. For Tekken Tag 1 pair play.
Oh yeah. Where you had to buy, and they've tried to sell you that stupid stand for the PS2. All it was two little like wedges that looked
Yeah.
blue. That was stupid. And it cost like $20.
I never got that junk. They got you good. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean I think that's the first ever DLC that's forcing you. Oh, you want this dope ass character for the Wii U version? $40.
Wait
You
a
gotta play
minute.
the
Wait
other
a minute.
game.
Wait a minute. Why is it $40?
Because you have to buy the Smash 3DS.
Oh,
You have
it's
to have-
only available on. Wait a minute. I
you have
wasn't
to
paying
own.
attention.
You have to own both versions, the 3DS version and the Wii U version.
Why?
That's how the
Because he's
marketing it.
Mewtwo.
What? What does that mean?
Because he's Mewtwo.
You need
Well, okay,
two
but saying it's
versions of the
slower.
game.
It's not. It's not
Basically,
even.
it's also going to be a DLC character, apparently. That's what Insomniac is putting in the chat, which I pointed to, but you guys don't even know my chat's that way, but yeah. Put it in the chat.
You can buy the character without buying both consoles, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
what
think.
Charles is
But,
saying. So
I mean, they said something about registering to get the character. I'm like, so do you have to own... Do you have to have the game in the console to register, or can you just, like, buy the game and just, like, go online and register it, I don't know what that means.
I am very uninterested in Smash Brothers, and I was a little bit interested until I saw the game on these guys. These guys were playing outside at Super. The game doesn't really look that cool to me, at least on the console. It might be cooler when it comes out, on I'm not on the console, on the handheld. But when it comes out on the actual console and it has relatively decent graphics and you can actually sit down with an arcade stick or whatever peripheral you like and play it, I think I'll pay a little more attention. But right now, I don't know about that. The DS, I don't even know what the scene is thinking. What does the scene think about that game? I figured there would be hella opinions about it and people saying, "Oh, I don't like it, wave dash, wow, wow, wow." What's the... Do we know what the vibe is?
They're still trying to get Melee into Evo. They don't like the game.
I don't think the game is catered for them. I think there's been a lot of, if you go to smashboards.com, there's a lot of people who are interested in finding new tech for the characters and the game system in general.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of stuff. The scene is still big. I feel like Brawl wasn't exactly a tiny scene either, and I think that this scene is going to be bigger than the Brawl scene was.
So you think that I guess when I say Smash Brothers, I talk about the competitive scene that actually shows up and brings their monitors and is a supporter of tournaments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that crowd like the game?
I think that crowd is the Melee crowd, and this game is not Melee, so I think they're going to still stick with Melee.
So, in terms of the context of tournaments, do you think this game could make it to EVO, or do you think that,
It's going to be really crazy because I think, Nintendo's already held, at E3 they had that invitational tournament or something. And so I think they're getting more involved by themselves, right? And if that's true, then I think that they're going to hold tournaments for this. And when they held that invitational tournament, the Smash community, even though they're the Melee guys, they were like, "Oh my God, finally Nintendo's recognizing us, yada yada." Right?
Yeah.
And so if Nintendo holds official tournaments for them, I don't see how they wouldn't be like, "Yo, we got to support Nintendo," And
at least at first, until
right, at
they
least at
stop
first,
throwing
exactly.
them.
And so if that happens, then I think it's going to hurt the Melee scene no matter what. People will just not focus. And Melee is a game where you have to spend time practicing it, I think. It's not. I don't think it's a game you can just walk away from and be like, "I got it,"
I wouldn't know. I have no idea. But just...
Well, I think it's there was one player, that Asian guy that was on Survivor. He was the top player for Smash for so many years, and now he can barely get top 8 at any major, because he's just not as good anymore.
Yeah, same game too. It's crazy.
That's what happens when you go on Survivor. You how to play Smash.
So, since we know EVO, kind of the thing that dictates games at EVO is its popularity and whatnot, do you guys think that it's going to be the new Smash because of that? Let's ignore the possibility of Nintendo throwing their own EVO or whatever. But, is this going to be one... Go ahead.
Honestly, I think the decision sucks for EVO. I saw Wizard, he already tweeted about it, something, I think he's tweeted about it, about what game they should do at EVO, Yeah. And I think it's going to be a really hard decision because if they do Smash 4, I think that they might get more numbers than Melee, which is crazy, but I think it's not impossible.
Yeah.
But it's
And
but at this point right now, the loudest crowd, for sure, is Melee
Oh yeah,
because
they're ready to be competitive.
they feel threatened. You know, they're like,
yeah,
our game is not popular anymore. I don't like the new one. Wham! So they have
I
to
don't
make
know.
noise.
I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling that it's gonna end up being both. And next
Both would
year,
be crazy.
2 Smash games. I think that at this point, I mean, I don't really know exactly how it works over there for the Evo committee, but I know that they really, very early on, start considering what games should be there. And I've had conversations with Joey, Mr. Wizard, about this, that like way before Evo. He asked me like, what do you think? What games do you like? Would you like to see, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, it's hard to say because he might be in trouble when it comes to that because, you know, he's a tournament that caters to tournament players, but at the same time it's a business and it's becoming a really big business. So maybe them having both games could be their only solution unless the new one turns out to be a lot better than, you know,
Yeah, and
anyone's thinking.
I mean, the thing about the new one is they don't have the system mechanics from the old game, and like, there's no wave dashing, there's no shuffle canceling. You know what I mean? Like, those two system mechanics really made Melee what it is.
Uh-huh.
That's what they try to patch into Brawl with Project M, and you know, so that's not going to happen, especially not Evo. Like, Evo won't ever have a Project M because Nintendo won't allow that, and so even if somebody made a Project M for the new one, like, Evo's not going to have that either. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's a shitty situation for Evo.
How big of a system mechanic is this? Can you compare it to something like Garden Pact or something?
I was trying to explain to Kenny last night, and
Good luck.
yeah, dude, that was hard. But I mean, essentially, the shuffle canceling was making your move safe, so you could do any jump attack, and you could make it safe when you land on the ground. Otherwise, you're unsafe on the ground. It's that big of a difference. You know, you're either safe on the ground or you're not safe.
Yeah.
The wave dash thing was like, if you're running, you can't do all of your attacks. You can only do certain attacks. But if you wave dash, you have access to all of your attacks while moving.
So don't run.
So, right. But I'm saying, like, that's like significant. You know,
Yeah,
like in terms of the speed you can do it and everything. It's huge. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it makes sense that they don't like the new game for that reason then. I mean, I always think, like, what's the reason? You know, what's the rationale behind hating on the new version? But that seems like a huge change, which is indicative of it not being a tournament-developed type of game. And I don't know. Is it still the case? I mean, Smash, the new one, is it a tournament game at all?
I think the developers are trying to do that, yeah.
I mean, they changed system mechanics because of tournament play. You know, like, I don't think they would have known about any of these system mechanics about, you know, the wave dashing and all that kind of stuff.
Accidental?
Yeah, I think they got input about how it works and what they feel like, you know, would be the best change for it. Because I think to me it sounds like those system changes too probably make it more balanced between the characters. You know, well, maybe not, but like certain characters might be overpowered with, you know, a wave dash or something versus, you know, a character that doesn't benefit from it as much.
Well, these are the type of things that you kind of sprinkle onto the equation once you're in the, like, the process of balance. You know, like, okay, these people are going to play versus mode. They're going to try and beat each other. But maybe these companies don't even give a fuck. They're like, that step doesn't even necessarily exist, or at least not to the extent in which, you know, it does in other fighting games.
And that's, like, definitely the case. Like, I think for Melee, the wave dashing and the shuffle canceling was basically like Tag 1's tag cancel.
Yeah,
you know,
accidental.
like, yo, that was not supposed to be there, and now everyone loves this, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at Namco, they're like, yo, tag cancel? We didn't mean that. F that. That's not coming in Tekken Tag 2. You know what I mean? We'll put something else in. You know, like,
yeah, but you know what? The tag cancel in Tekken Tag 2 is there. It's just different. I mean, it's there, you know, without question. That you can cancel the animation of a tag with an action.
Oh, an action, yeah.
You know, it's not that action, but it is an action, and
Yeah, they just decided to not make it a safe action anymore.
not necessarily, but I mean, think about Steve. You know, Steve can basically do a tag 1 cancel. So
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that basically boils down to development and you know, balancing more specifically. So another question that comes to my mind is, do you think Wednesday Night Fights will pick up Smash, or do you think they'll keep it on Sundays?
I think they're gonna keep it on Sundays.
If they bring it up, if they bring it to Wednesday Night Fights, that will suck because
No,
it's gonna be packed.
No, you know what? I think right off the bat you can't do it at Wednesday Night Fights because you need CRTs. And CRTs are huge, and
No,
they
I'm
take up so
talking
much
about the
space.
new one.
New one, Rick. He's talking about Smash.
Oh, but
4.
the new one you're gonna need, you know, Wii U's or whatever. And I think
All right.
if anything, it would probably be at the run back over Wednesday
Oh,
night fights because
yeah.
there's still too many people at Wednesday night fights. But I think they get so many people for their Sunday thing, anyways. That it's, it's a free day. It's a free day. Why take it away from that day? There's business that day. Might as well just keep it there.
And definitely for Super Arcade, Sundays were like a fucking ghost town until
Yeah.
they started doing Smash Sundays. And as far as it being a business for Super Arcade, definitely I think they'll keep it. So
But if it's too big on Sundays with all the games, because there's gonna be a huge crowd that wants Melee still, right? So
Yeah.
or Project M. So if they keep that on Sunday and they put 4 on Thursday, I think that's still something they can do.
also, another thing on the topic of Thursday Run Back is I heard that shit's on life support. Like every week that I've been watching, I haven't been going, but man, it looks really rough. Like it's just Gary Kuso.
Marvel is the one that's really hurting.
Do
I don't
you
know why.
Go
I
ahead.
don't know exactly why Marvel has like. It just seemed like after Evo, it was like, just no one shows up anymore. Tekken's getting as many people as Marvel is
That's
apparently.
weird. Yeah, that's
It's
weird.
like, it,
I
Is
never
Marvel
thought I'd
not
see
get
that
Evo?
happen.
I'm even looking at it like I don't think it's gonna hurt in major tournaments, because you're still gonna get the big names playing
Yeah.
it, like Justin, Filipino Champ, all these guys.
Yeah.
So it's just like in locals, it's all the same shit, So I guess
Locals
people
are
just
actually
bored.
really important, though. I mean, like, if you don't have the locals for a game, it kind of fades away. People forget about it. And when the major comes, yeah, the enthusiasts will be there and people will watch. But I think locals are important, especially things like Wednesday Night Fights and the Run Back. And the fact that it's doing so poorly, even at next level, they don't even hold that shit anymore. They don't
Wow.
even have tournaments. So that I never thought I'd see that happen.
No
And
Marvel at Evo?
I
Marvel's gonna
doubt
be
it.
there.
Yeah,
Come on,
I don't know
they
about
gotta
that.
do it. That would be so sick.
I mean, eventually a time is going to come where Marvel 3 goes the direction of Marvel 2, where it's just so old and so broken, and just people are tired of hearing Storm. Ho, ho, ho. It's like eventually people are going to get tired of it. And if there isn't a new version coming out, which there isn't because Disney owns Marvel or whatever the fuck it is, the game's eventually going to fade away. People are going to get tired of that X Factor and Zero and whatever it is, and they're going to be like, fuck this, let's play something else. And we got Capcom over here hella supporting their game with Pro Tours and shit, so I don't know. I'm thinking Street Fighter is where people are looking right now, so I don't know. It's pretty impressive that Tekken gets the same numbers as
Marvel.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Our best Tekken day is the worst Marvel day, so we're still in that area.
What were the numbers yesterday?
For Tekken,
Yeah.
maybe like around 17 or 16.
Oh, really? That high? Wow.
I don't know. It was
Pretty good.
it was like
I
it
know
was
it
like
bumped
11 at
that,
first,
yeah.
and then James is like, "Dude, all these people are here, but they didn't sign up." And then it's like,
Yeah, last call and then boom.
yeah, we got like 3 extra players, so we forced Kenny to do it, and he was so drunk that he didn't realize he entered.
Yeah, good shit. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seemed like for the last 2 weeks, I didn't enter yesterday because I came with Charles and he had to go to work the next day, so we left early. But the 2 weeks before that, it seemed like really rough, like 10, 11 people and shit. And yesterday you guys came out and a couple other people came out, and even without me, it was like, maybe 15, 16 people. So that's pretty good. Not bad, considering, how much everyone hates Tekken and shit, so.
Yeah, and the major thing is that there's nothing really to look forward to for Tekken at this point. There's outside of KIT and Final Round, there's not really any majors.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the big thing for Tekken, as far as the Tekken scene is the big strong style reveal of, what they're gonna do. They're releasing these videos with all the stats, and who knows what other kind of content is gonna be involved. But that's one of the things I think the Tekken scene can look forward to. It's not necessarily like Final Round or something, but it's gonna be similar. It's just not a live stream. You're gonna get these matches and shit. So I don't know. I mean, there's still some stuff to look forward to, and Tekken 7 is gonna be so sick. I can't wait. Oh my God.
I pray round 1 gets it.
I'm sure
That
they
would be
will.
so awesome.
I'm
No,
sure
like
they
a
will.
location test like early next year. That would be so awesome.
I think they'll get the arcade version next year. I think they're gonna develop it in a way where round 1 can get it if they want to get it. It's just gonna be expensive. I mean, why would they do that same thing again? You think they'll exclude us again? It seemed like
Yeah.
I felt like
Did
they
it hurt them?
No, that's the thing. I feel like they felt like it was a bad idea after they did it. Like, I got the vibe from them that after the release of Tekken Tag 2 in the arcade, they were thinking that they should have made it so that anyone could get it. So, like, basically it wouldn't just be the Asian countries and the arcade countries that are able to get it. And I think that's why they ended up opening it up to round one. I mean, round one got it eventually when they weren't able to get it at first. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe they won't do that again. Maybe they'll release an arcade version more along the lines of previous Tekkens, where anyone in the world, if they want to pay for the board or if they want to pay for the cabinet, they can get it. And if that's the case with Tekken 7, then I'm sure we'll see it at Dave and Buster's and anywhere else where they can afford it. So we're gonna be paying $2 a game and shit, but you know, at least we'll be able to go watch demo mode and see who the most played characters are and shit. Who beat the arcade mode fastest? It's all gonna be Kane, I'm sure.
Well, the round one, you also have to remember that since this is the whole like internet thing for Tekken 7, like there's a bunch of round ones now opening up. So like there's one that opened up in Chicago, and they have Tag 2 over there in Chicago. It's
There
like,
you go.
What?
how the hell do they even have it? You know, but they have it. You know, so
Yeah.
it's, you know, they can do the whole like, you know, online thing between all the round ones again. I'm gonna go to Lakewood. You're gonna go to Puente Hills, and then we're gonna fuck you up online.
Shit, that's how it's gonna work?
Yeah, dude.
I could just play against Ricksta from my arcade?
Yeah, fuck your arcade.
What?
Yeah, your arcade's gonna suck, dude.
That's gonna suck. It's gonna be just like
You're
Tekken
gonna get
Tag 2
owned.
online. It's gonna be trash.
We're both gonna be camcording our match from either side. We're all both gonna be talking shit to each other without each other hearing it.
That sounds lame.
It's gonna be awesome.
Well, I mean, we don't even have to play each other online. That's the thing, you know.
Yeah,
But
I don't even think that's... I guess it could work, but...
It's
man,
gonna happen.
The concept seems so weird. Hey, Ricky, go to the arcade. See you at my arcade. Bro, what the hell? We don't even have to interact with humans anymore? Ugh, I don't like it. I don't like the idea of online at all. It ends up producing people who don't know how to talk shit and fluff their feathers up unnecessarily. I mean, that's what happens.
yeah, look at all. Oh God, yeah.
That's
Just
what
like-
happens, dude. Because
I
when
just
you're
think
playing a
about
game
all these-
online, you always send those hate messages that are so hateful that if you said it in front of someone's face, automatic fight. Like, boom. It's just, you can't say that. You can't say those types of things to a human in front of their face. So these people are bred from online, and they think that that's, like, gonna fly. But when it happens and people are talking shit, they think I either gotta go max level and send them a hate message via my mouth, or they fluff their feathers, you know? Like, they get hella pissed. I mean, I don't like the idea of online fighting games at all in the first place. You know, I think that sucks. So, fuck that idea.
And on the topic of shit talking, man, the new generation of like any fighting game player now, it's like anyone that's like under the age of, I think, like 23 have no idea how to talk shit.
Like who, for example?
Run it black. That
Well,
guy
I
does
mean,
have
dude.
no idea how to talk shit. All he does is yell and say curse words. And Gallo is so bad.
Oh,
at it.
yeah, he's the worst at talking shit ever.
Like I've heard Gallo and Run It Black talk shit to each other, and it's just like it's like 2 5-year-olds just figured out how to use a curse word and what it meant, and so now all they want to do is just say it over and over. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. You guys are both retards.
Both of them. Yeah, seriously. Jeez. Gallo is the worst shit talker on the planet. Usually when you're bad at something, you don't want to do it, especially in front of people. Like, for example, dancing. You know, if you're not good at dancing, you're not going to go fucking Elaine Bennis that shit and cut the rug and look like an idiot, right? Well, Gallo, he is just the bravest motherfucker ever. He'll yell trash talk so 100 people can hear him, and he just sounds like a total idiot. Cynic said it perfectly. He's like the homeless guy at the corner, you know? Like, it's the end of the world. He's a fucking idiot. Oh, man, crazy. But, I mean, there is a place for people like Gallo as well, I think. You know, I mean, if it weren't for him, we wouldn't be talking shit about him right now. So, you know, he's very important. I think people like Gallo and Run It Black, you know, you have to have people that you don't like a little bit so that you can really appreciate the things that you do like. And
Oh man, completely side random though, because you just said Cynic. I remember being in the middle of a Cynic and Tensai-kun conversation. It was the craziest thing I've ever witnessed, because it was like, you know how Cynic like gets into a conversation, doesn't understand half of it, and acts like he knows 100%
he
of it.
doesn't listen to your part. That's his style.
and then Tensai-kun, I don't know his deal, but like the words that come out of his mouth, I don't think he hears them. It's like
Damn.
when I was listening to these two guys have a conversation, and there was a invisible border right in the middle, and it was like the words are coming and it's just bouncing off. Like
they're in their own
Yeah.
StarCraft cells, like they're separated and shit.
Yeah, it was
MLG,
like-
dude.
It was like Tenseiken would say something, Cynic would retort with something completely random and not has nothing to do with it, and then Tenseiken would say something again that has nothing to do with that. It was tight.
These people, these are the types of people they are. They don't understand that conversations have like a two-directional information transfer. They're just one-directional, and they don't listen to the retorts, and then the next thing that they say is so retarded because they didn't even listen to the retort. It's like there was a intermission in their own comment, Cynic's a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I'm glad he
can't
didn't go
believe
to-
he didn't go to Strong Style. Why the
Yeah, I
fuck
was
would he
just
not
about to
go to
say that.
Strong
What a
Style?
bitch.
Oh my god, he would have been perfect there. He would have been perfect there. And he would have beat someone good too. He would have beat someone and it would have been perfect. Fucking Cynic.
He would have beat Jimmy.
Damn, dude.
It could have happened.
surprising.
You never know. Cynic
Yeah.
sometimes he pulls some magic out of his tiny mouth, and you never know what with that guy. Speaking of bitches, so let's go. What? Oh, I guess you can plug your stuff before we call bitches. Your channels and whatnot.
Ah.
Plug your butts.
Plug your butt, Rip.
Plug it.
I think he's too tired to really understand anything.
Okay. So who are your bitch callings? Anybody?
Rick.
Cynic for one, just because
Yeah.
he didn't go strong, so I'm still mad about that. Sukin's another bitch because he beat me yesterday and then he left.
Oh, what's the explanation for that? I heard about that.
So I think he knew that he was gonna leave, right? Like, because it was hella late. We ran the tournament super late.
Yeah, he's a
and
father.
so I think he was kind of in the mindset of win or lose, I gotta go. So he plays me, he beats me, and then he's like, Ricky, you advance, I gotta go. And I'm
He
like,
beat you in that mindset. He beat
Yeah.
you with the I gotta go, I can't even be here mindset.
yeah, so and then like it puts it on me where it's like, do I continue? Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
of course. Hell yeah, you do. I mean, that's
So I got triple eliminated yesterday. It was tight.
Who else beat you?
I lost to Seo in winners, then I lost to Sukin, which I didn't lose, and then I lost to James.
Impressive. I think Rip's been triple eliminated on a multitude of times. Where
Never in my life.
against Sonken. What happened to Sonken? He was
He
such
posted
a.
on Facebook and he said that like he feels like he's good enough to start coming back to Wednesday night fights. And then SoCal Requiem replied back and said, "So Tim can beat you."
Yeah, I
Wow.
like that. Dude, SoCal Requiem, when he beat down MYK that one time, do you guys remember that? Like, he kicked the shit out of MYK like
I didn't
6
see
rounds
that.
straight.
That's crazy.
He finished his combos, too, And then the dope thing is, like, after that, I went up to him and I was like, good shit, man. And then he goes, yeah, I fucked up Ricksta last week. And I was like, damn. So this guy's like out for blood, So I like that, man. Sunken stepped down and now SoCal Rectium, he's really pulling through.
Dude, I think last night Rectum was there, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was there.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure he had a sick comeback against Vietnam Tom to beat Vietnam Tom last night.
All right, I like that, stepping up his game. He used to be like so bad.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be like the king of landing an orbital heel and then nothing afterwards. Just let
He's
me
still
land
the
these.
king of landing orbital heels. Trust
But
me.
at least now he's doing combos afterwards. He would hit so many orbitals, he would have won the round like 8 times. But
Dude, would be like orbital hit, they tech roll, orbital hit the
yeah, dude, he would just use orbital for Okazemi off of orbital and shit. I was like, what? These stats are
He
next
learned
level.
learned from Bronson, dude. Why do a combo? Just hit launchers all day.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that, but okay. Well, your bitch calling was Cynic. Rip.
Easily the biggest bitch this week. I've been really busy finishing that Smash guide, and I was in Ricky's chat the other night, and he was.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
It was the craziest chat ever because easily the biggest bitch out of anyone in the Tekken community right now is Speed Kicks. Speed
Ooh.
Kicks, you are such a bitch. He started telling everyone in the chat that they were my sheep, and that I was their shepherd, basically.
Okay, more like sheepdog. Go on.
yeah, but yeah, yeah. So easily, Speed Kicks, get over your loss with Princess Ling, dude.
But
Stop
what was
being
it
a
about?
bitch.
You didn't tell me the context.
There was too much context, man. We were just talking
Too
shit.
much context to even talk about? Wow, there was
Ricky,
so much
you explain.
context.
Was it that much context?
I don't even understand what was going on. I was just playing, and I kept looking back, and all of a sudden, Rip is Cade's dad, and then like I look back again,
What?
and then Run Up Black was hitting on Kate Roberts' mom, and all this other shit. I'm like, dude, leave Kate Roberts alone.
All I know is that he was in my chat a while ago, and he said something like that to me, like, "You have a million minions. I can't go anywhere without people talking about my bunghole anymore." And I thought that was pretty funny, you know. I was like, okay, but then I asked him to be on the show, and for whatever reason, he declined at that moment. But later on the Twitter, he hit me up and he's like, "Hey, you know, I changed my mind." And I was like, "Sure." So. For those of you interested, first of all, next week I'm gonna have the main man on the show.
No?
I don't know. Are you guys interested in being on that show? I don't know how I'm even gonna do it yet. I haven't decided. But
What time is that going to be for him?
5 a.m. Yeah, and he said he's down. He said
Okay.
I'll wake up early. He couldn't be on today, but he said he'll wake up early and he'll be on next week. So I'm interested. I mean, he's kind of like, to me, mystery. Like, where did he come from? He doesn't really play in any tournaments. He used to make, you know, combo videos. And, you know, earlier I was talking about it, but I think it's really fucking weird that there aren't more people like him. Like, before in Tekken 6, he was just a combo guy. But then he started doing other stuff and making more content, and then he started streaming and stuff. And I feel like, where are all the other people that didn't do that? You know, what happened? Why didn't they start doing that shit? It's
Start
just me,
streaming?
Rip, and the main man? I mean, where is...
I mean, the main man, he mainly only did things for, you know, like combo videos and tutorials, but he was, I don't know, he was never a tournament player, which
No,
was...
but I mean, forget that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Okay, we know he's not a tournament
Yeah.
player, but I mean, the idea of, okay, the main man used to be a combo maker. Why didn't these other combo makers go in this direction? Why didn't they start doing more
that
content?
was the other thing, too. I don't know how many, think of just, like, not a, what's the word? I guess English, like, people, you know, like American people and Europeans, like, how many of those guys are actually combo makers? You know, I think for me personally, I usually only follow outside of the main man. It's all Asian people, so I don't know.
That's not how it was in Tekken 6. In Tekken 6, there was a lot of European combo makers that were very consistently making dope shit. And there are also others, like, you know, that guy Gookie Levin and a few others that are, like, English-speaking combo makers.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You know,
you're right.
there are
No, yeah,
plenty
yeah,
of
you definitely- you-
English-speaking people, you know, that could make content, but they just chose not to. I think it's weird, you know. A lot of stuff popped up in Tag 2, but isn't that kind of late game? You know, they started inventing this streaming idea 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm just kind of surprised. That's one of the things I was going to talk to him about next week. So if you're interested, the main man, all the way from Sweden at 5 a.m., is going to be on the show at the same time as every week, 8 p.m. Pacific.
When Speed Kicks hit me on the show,
Probably the week after that. I think I would like to wait for the Speed Kicks one for the matches to come out. So, you know, we could
Particular
see
match
the
to come out?
matches. I think it would be tight. You know,
we should debut the match with Speed Kicks
Debut
on
it.
the show.
hey, that's between Bronson and Bacon. You know, so that's between Bronson and his German Shepherd. You know, we'll decide. Oh, we'll decide. But it would be very cool if, you know, Speed Kicks is on the show to do commentary on his own match. Woo!
You see his face in the grass, like in real life.
Dude, it wasn't
It's gonna be in
grass.
the
It
camera,
was fucking dirt, dude. It was fucking dirt. It was gravel. It was not soft, you know, grass. It was dirt. This guy was face down in the gravel, you know, so I can't wait for that.
Nice.
Anyway, who was my bitch calling? I was about to call someone a bitch. I guess the whole Speed Kicks thing, I think, I mean, I guess there's no other word for it. But
You know, the Speed Kicks has been having this like little like movement of his lately, where it's like he said that he was gonna quit Tekken, but the reason why he didn't quit and he's playing now is because he wants to prove a point or something, and get rid of like the bad community that the Tekken community is now, and then build up like this new pure, you know.
Yeah, he also said that the Tekken community right now is mainly played by a bunch of idiots.
Yeah,
a
so
bunch of fucking charge character using motherfuckers, huh? Low IQ using. You know, I don't really care about the logic. Either way, I think he's a really, really talented player, and
yeah,
obviously
he's a very smart kid, very good player.
super good. I mean, like, this guy's really got some movement and stuff that it's like, wow, I want to watch him play. He's like one of my favorites to watch, right? So, whatever, man. Don't get butthurt, and we'll see you on the show. Don't be a bitch. Bitch.
Bitch.
Anyway,
Don't
so
fight me.
yeah, we like good attitudes around here. You know, we like it when you can handle a bitch calling. So, handle it. Anyway, Cynic, I agree, he's a bitch. Gallo, 100% a bitch. Not Sukin. Yeah, he's a bitch too. Sonkin, definitely a bitch. I think I'm finally good enough to go back to Wednesday Night Fights. Listen, if Bug, CQC's girlfriend, she's out there every time playing her heart out, So Sonkin, you are definitely a bitch. You are definitely a bitch. Get out there and play. You're like one of the heroes. Everyone loves fucking the rodent, Sonkin rats. So
I don't think anyone likes Sonkin.
I like him. I like him being around. He's cool. Whoa,
Sorry.
whoa. It's
Sorry,
like a
sorry.
college classroom. Anyway, so yeah, he's a bitch. Viscant's hella cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a hero. The way he stood up to him and he didn't even move. It was like Ryu and Akuma on the cover of Alpha 3. It was so perfect. Ah, I loved it. Plug your stuff. You didn't do that yet.
Follow me on twitch.tv/levelupyourgame. I'll probably be streaming tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Really? What are you going to stream?
Tekken Tag 2 versus the world,
Sick.
maybe. We can do some of that.
All right. I might catch you on Ranked.
Yeah.
I've been practicing online, and I'm
Gonna need it.
really bad. So you're in trouble. I'm
As
in
long as we're
trouble
not playing
more.
Revolution.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this the? I really shouldn't have clicked that without knowing what it was, but it is.
What?
It's the low tier god, but it's cut off. Maybe if I can make it bigger.
Are you trying to show the Super Nintendo
Yeah,
picture?
yeah. So this is the cover for Street Fighter Alpha 2, and this is so perfect. And then Fuson in the back, looking like a troll. Beautiful, beautiful. I had a lot of fun yesterday. Good times. I'm glad everyone else enjoyed it. I guess
I like
we'll
the
wrap
fact
it
that
up.
Valle is on the bottom right too, and his